So in the last video, we were just being introduced to some of the Linux commands. We saw ls to list, we saw mkdir, we saw cd. So those are the ones that we saw. So that was list, make directory, and current directory. So I'll show you one quick one over here to make things nice and clean. You can use clear to just get everything off your screen and keep things just nice and neat. So that's one thing that you can do. So once again, we can go ahead and use ls to see that we have YouTube. We can use cd to enter that. And now we can go ahead and use ls again to see that we have some other folders. Now I wanted to show you some ways that we can navigate around. So we saw a few symbols in the last video, right? We saw that if we use cd with this squiggle, that's going to bring us to the top of our user file. So that is our user. So my personal folder on this Linux server, the top of it is represented by that tilde. If we did with this little slash over here, that's going to bring you to the top of the full Linux server, to the root. That's the absolute top, where you're just going to see a bunch of general folders, and then you have to go into those folders to find all the specific information and find the user accounts. So that's how we get to the top. Now I want to show you another way that we can navigate, right? This one's probably going to make things a little bit easier. If you want to just go up one level, 2 dots is going to be to go up one level. So if we were to use 2 dots, we will see that we are going to go out of the YouTube folder, and now if we use ls again, we are back up to the top where my user files are, where we see the YouTube folder. So that is how we go up one level. And we don't necessarily need to just go one level at a time, right? So let's say I want to go into the YouTube folder and I want to go directly into the videos folder, right? So I can go ahead and write cd/YouTube/videos, and that's going to, whoops, not that, sorry, YouTube/videos. Yeah, without the slash in front. Sorry, that's my bad. You don't put a slash in front of the first one. I don't know, I just had a brain freeze there for a moment, so I'm sorry about that. So you just put the first directory you want to go into and then slash all the other ones after it. And we can see that if I use ls right now, I don't have anything inside of here. So I don't need, there's nothing inside of there, right? So I'm inside the videos folder right now. And if I want to go up one level, I can do that. And now I'm back in the YouTube. If I want to go up another level, I can cd ... again, and you'll move all the way up, go back inside. So we go, once again, I put that freaking slash in front, YouTube/videos, and now we are back inside. So just learning about ways that we can navigate around and make things a little bit easier. Now you can have relative paths and absolute paths, and we're going to see about this a bit more in details as we go along, but there's 2 ways that you can decide how you want to get places, right? So if I want to give a relative path, which means a path that is based on where I am right now, I can go ahead and write cd. I can put those 2 dots, which means I want to, this path that I'm going to define right now is going to start at the level on top of me. I can go ahead and write thumbnails, right? So if I went in and did this, I'm going to go, and from the current area that I'm going to go in, I'm going to go up a level /, which means I'm going to look around that area, and I'm going to try to find a folder or a directory named thumbnails, and I'm going to go inside of that. And right now, that's where I am. So that's a way that we can do it like that. However, you can also do it like this. If you want an absolute path, this is just defining it from the top. So the relative path is going to depend on where you are. The absolute path is not. So we're going to define this from the top. If I put that slash, it means I say from the top, I want you to go to my, I got to spell things correct. I want to go to the YouTube file, and then I want you to go to the audio file, right? So I can go ahead and type it like that. And then no matter where I am, I will get into that audio file, right? So if I'm in that audio file right now, and I did something like, if I tried to do that exact same thing, if I write cd ... /YouTube, right? Well, that YouTube file is not in the audio file. It's not in the YouTube file itself. So that would not make any sense. So if I did something from the top, which is absolute, this would make sense. And now I'd be inside of the YouTube file. So it's really about how you're going to think about things, right? The relative one is going to depend on where you are, and the absolute one will not. So the absolute one, you're talking about it from the top. You'll need to write the path from your user, the top of your user files, your home directory. And from the relative one, you can define it simply from either the directory you're in, or you can define it from just going into the directory that's on top of you and then moving over to another directory. So I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to introduce you to some new commands in the next video. This is just, messing around with a few things and how to navigate around, because that's going to be the one thing that a lot of people will have the most trouble with. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.